research lead for the MSUD Family Support Group. And we do have a research agenda for the support group, and that agenda, of course, is to improve the lives of people with MSUD. So how are we going to do that? Well, ideally, we would find a cure. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But most likely, there's not going to be one single cure that's going to work for everyone. So we also really need to focus on just improved treatments. What might that look like? Well, it might look like therapeutic agents or medicines that can help us control the branched chain amino acids, and hopefully allow people to eat more natural protein foods. We want to be able to, of course, prevent metabolic decompensations. That's a huge one. So anything that can help us do that would make a huge difference in people's lives. And we've been hearing a little bit, and we'll hear a little bit more about what goes on in the MSUD brain, as we call it. And we need to develop more supports for the cognitive and emotional difficulties that many people with MSUD do experience. A lot of people experience a lot of anxiety just not knowing what their blood leucine level is. And for that reason, we really have prioritized the development of a monitor, something that you could keep in your home and just prick your blood, and within 30 minutes or so, know just what your blood leucine level is. We really feel that that would revolutionize care and also really help people living with this disease. So that's a priority for us. And then we also need to know more about what MSUD looks like throughout the lifespan. So we know a lot about children, and we're learning more about young adults, but we need to be able to explore the life experience of people as they go through the lifespan living with MSUD. Now, no surprise, I know, to anyone in this room that we are a rare disease. A rare disease is considered to be one that affects fewer than 200,000 Americans. And with a worldwide incidence estimated at 1 in 185,000, we're actually considered an ultra rare disease. We don't know precisely, but it's estimated that about 30 babies in the US are born with every year with MSUD. But keep in mind, there are over 10,000 of these rare diseases. So when we want scientists to focus on ours, we have to make sure that they know about it. So what is it that we do to further our research agenda? Well, we follow the scientific literature. And whenever there's a new study that comes out, we make sure that we can understand it in the context of all previous research, and at times even follow up with the authors to learn more. We attend professional conferences, and this is so important. First of all, of course, it allows us to learn about ongoing research, but it also allows us to meet the researchers, to network with them, to network with the biotech industry. And again, just get the word out that MSUD is a disease that really needs their attention. We get guidance from our scientific advisory board. We have research grants, and so whenever you see those announcements about fundraising, and as Denise was speaking about earlier, part of what that goes for is to fund our research grants. And we have an MSUD patient registry. Does everyone here know about our patient registry? Hopefully, because we really do work hard to try to get the word out. And we've been analyzing the information that we've gotten from that registry, and we've started presenting posters at various scientific conferences about our results, and we're preparing a paper that will be published, hopefully, in a professional journal. We are incredibly grateful for the brilliant scientists who volunteer their time to sit on our scientific advisory board. They include Dr. Rebecca Ahrens-Nicholas at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Josh Baker at Lurie Children's, Lindsay Barrage at Baylor College of Medicine, Andrea Grotman, who is here with us today. Andrea, raise your hand. Over there. She's at St. Jude's, and we're going to hear from her in a little bit. David Fischler, David, back there, who's an adult with MSUD and works in the biotech field. Irene Minoli at the National Institutes of Health. Grace Meyer, Grace, who's with the Clinic for Special Children. Dan Wang, you saw his picture that Kevin showed you earlier from University of Massachusetts, and Max Wynn at UT Southwestern Medical Center, who's really hasn't missed an MSUD symposium for many years, but this year was unable to be here. So we were really beyond thrilled yesterday when we invited 22 scientists and clinicians to get together, meet with us here, and speak about all these issues related to research for MSUD. We had an amazing day talking about gene therapy, MSUD in the brain, liver transplantation, our registry, and healthcare transition and independent living. And you're going to have the opportunity to learn from these researchers as well here today. So I just want to say a few words about our registry. We started it in 2020, and just about any researcher will tell you that it is having a really robust registry is really key to achieving your research goals, because it gives regulators, as well as the people who are working on these different projects, an insight into what it's like to live with MSUD. So it's really important that everybody, hopefully everyone in this room, has completed at least once, but we need to know how your experience changes over time. And so we really ask you to go back in and update it every year. And the update is actually very easy to do, because all you have to do is email the people at CORDS who house our registry, and that information is on our website, and just tell them your updates, and they will input the data for you. So please, I encourage you to do that every single year. You are sharing your health information anonymously, and by doing that, you're helping accelerate research. We know that companies will be able to use this data to show the FDA just why we may need the drugs that they are thinking of developing, and also to demonstrate how their potential therapeutics are actually helping people. One important thing to note is that one of the first step in entering our registry is you sign a consent. Now, once people turn the age of 18, they have to sign their own consent. So it's really important that if any of you have children who have turned 18, that they go back in there and sign their own consent. Otherwise, all that information is going to be removed from the database. I just have this up here just to give you a glimpse of what it might look like when we report on the information that we've collected. This is from a poster that I presented this past spring. And it's really, this one is only looking at growth data. So here we were evaluating the growth both in height and in weight and body mass index of people with MSUD. And what maybe you can see is based on something called Z-scores, which normalizes data by age. And 0 is considered the middle, so you're completely average at a Z-score of 0. And anything to the left means that you're lower than average. So you can see that when we look at the height for ages of people under 20 years of age, most of them are below 0. So we do have evidence that there's compromised growth in MSUD. And then when we look at the weight scores, again, for people under 20, it looks fairly evenly distributed, so not much of a problem. But when we get to adults, that's when we see things start skewing to the right. And I know there's a lot of conversation about the need to address the fact that we tend to push calories on people with MSUD so that we can prevent a metabolic decompensation, but we have to figure out how to do this in a way that's going to be more healthful for the individual. So I was going to say something else about this, but now I forget what I was going to say. Oh, I know what I was going to say. There are 119 people who have participated in our registry so far. Only 51 completed this information on height and weight. So this analysis is only based on 51 people. So again, when you are completing the registry, if you're stumped by a question, you can always contact me. My information is on the website and on all the promotional pieces that we put out for the registry. But please try your best not to leave blank spots, because it really makes it more difficult for us to get good, robust data. The only other thing I'm going to show you, because we have limited time here today, is that sometimes on the Facebook page I hear people say something like, "Oh, my child has diabetes. Does anyone else have diabetes?" And that's another really important piece of information that we're trying to collect from our patient registry. So this is the information that we have so far on what people are reporting in terms of other conditions that they may have been diagnosed with. Osteopenia or osteoporosis, that's low bone mineral density. And there is some concern that people with MSUD would have lower than normal bone mineral density, but only 2 have reported it in our registry. The one thing here that really surprised me was the number of the people who were reporting hypertension or high blood pressure. So again, this information is just really important so that we can provide better guidance to people, or clinicians can provide better guidance to people moving on. So again, our research priorities are certainly continuing with gene therapy efforts, developing that point of care leucine monitor so that we don't have to wait days, if not longer, to know what blood leucine levels were, to develop other therapeutics to help us control those branched-chain amino acid levels, help us be able to tolerate more natural protein, and prevent metabolic decompensations. We need to understand the MSUD brain, and Dr. Grotman, who's going to speak to you in a little bit, is accompanied by her associates who are conducting the FNIRS study that you'll learn more about, but I want to give that a little plug here. They were here 2 years ago, and perhaps some of you were tested by them. The test that they have, that they're providing, is safe, it's comfortable, it's fun for children. Basically, they look at cartoons. The older people will just do computer-based simple tasks. And we really need a wide variety of people to offer to be subjects for this particular study. So we need everyone, regardless of your transplant status, so people who have been transplanted, people who haven't been transplanted, people of all ages, and people without MSUD who will serve as controls. So please visit with COSAR, you want to raise your hand, and Anna, and sign up for your spot to have that fun, simple, safe, comfortable test done. And if you did it in the past, you can do it again. Did I leave anything out? We're good. Okay. Sorry. We also need to develop nutrition strategies for long-term health. And of course, we're so grateful for the formula companies. Dr. Strauss told about the story of Selma Snyderman working at Bellevue Hospital to develop the first formula for MSUD, and we've come a long way from those days. But now that people are staying healthy for longer, we really need to revise formulas so that they support the health of people throughout the lifespan. And we need to understand the lived experience of families and individuals with MSUD. And I encourage you, if there's something that you have on mind that you think we should be addressing through research that I haven't mentioned, please let me know, because that's really important. We need to hear from all of you. There are projects these are some of the projects we have provided sponsorship for in recent years. You can see there are 3 different gene therapy projects that we have supported, 2 different projects on MSUD and the brain, leucine monitor, and healthcare transition. So again, think about our fundraising requests because they enable us to help clinicians and scientists do this important work. And this is just the research proposal, the request for proposals that we disseminate to professionals. So again, if you want to get involved in research or if you have any ideas, please contact me. You can talk to me here or you can email me. And if you don't write this down, my information is on the website.